Hey, so I thought I'd just make this quick video discussing all the Star Wars figures that I've made throughout the course of like a couple years, because I really felt like this was something I had to do. So I've never done this before. I haven't really shown a lot of Star Wars customs on my channel, but this is the majority of them. I haven't really got any other ones besides this lot. So we're going to go in chronological order, and hopefully you guys can understand that, because yeah. And some of these have missing parts and stuff because it has been quite a long time. But they are mostly intact, so that's cool. But yeah, I just really thought I should make something Star Wars related, as I haven't really done anything like that for a while. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. I apologise for the lighting in this video, but anyway, believe it or not, Darth Maul here was not actually in the first shot of the video. He was still made. He was like the first minifigure I made out of all these Star Wars figures, and you can just see how bad he looks. I mean, that face right there looks awful. And I literally found him in my storage areas. I was like looking around for other figures that I've made from Star Wars, and then I just found this, and it has no legs, no right arm, or not even this headpiece. And then I had to just attach all those. This is actually the second version of Darth Maul's headpiece. You know, the second version I made for the Phantom Menace. I don't even know what the hell this was, but it did have a posable arm as well, because there's a ball joint based off that technique that I did. If you remember that technique video I made on how to make ball jointed arms, there may be a card right there linking that video. But this can actually fit Darth Maul's lightsaber. Now where is it? So I can actually, there it is. I'll just quickly show you what it looks like in his hand. And yeah, this is not my best Darth Maul because it looks like garbage, but I still want to show you what it looks like. There you go. You can kind of tell. So there you go, there he is with the lightsaber. Oh god, let's just get rid of this disgusting figure. So these next figures are not actually present with me at the moment because I don't have them nearby, but they're actually the 4 Clone Wars figures, like the first actual blowout Clone Wars that I made. And I don't really think they look that great, honestly, but it is what it is. Next up is Cad Bane. He's the next one I made off those 4 Clone Wars figures. And this figure still holds up, because he actually turns out like one of the best Star Wars figures I made. I mean, the head looks good, the hat looks decent. I mean, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments of this figure as well, if you want. But I think I made it pretty good. I mean, the torso is a bit messy, but it gets there. And then the back, obviously nothing on it. And I take the hat off, and I still haven't filled in that section at the back there. Don't know if I ever get around to it, but that's the hat. And let's go back on, there we go. And he has a DL-44, one of those guns from Han Solo, basically. And there it is. Looks pretty good. And yeah, there's not really much else to say, really. That's basically it for Cad Bane, with the head from Lego set. And that's basically it. Once I'd made Cad Bane, and after that video got posted, I started getting into the Star Wars trilogy figures, and then I began with Phantom Menace, and so that's why Qui-Gon Jinn is up next here. And yeah, this figure still holds up as well. He looks pretty cool in the way he turned out. I believe I made him in 2019, along with a certain Darth Maul figure, which we'll get to later. But yeah, just a load of 3D elements were used here. The official minifigure head and hairpiece, and this lightsaber, of course. So yeah, there's not really much else to say. I used the official minifigure as a base, practically, and I made the coat as well. But yeah, he still holds up, like I said. Not really that bad of a figure, if you ask me. Now, if you remember in the segment where I gave this Darth Maul, this headpiece, and this lightsaber, well, this is the next Darth Maul that I made afterwards. And while the face looks good, the rest of it just doesn't really look that great. It looks really under-detailed, in my opinion. And, I mean, these areas on the legs just don't really do their justice. I don't know what I was thinking back then, adding that around the legs. Those don't really look that great. if I move the lightsaber, you can see what I mean. So you see on the legs there, they have these extra layers going on, and they just look really strange from the back as well. They just don't really stick to the legs any longer. So yeah, not that great. And then for episode 2, here is Count Dooku from Attack of the Clones. And this minifigure, I said this for a bunch of the characters already, he still has quite a lot of detail, and I wouldn't do this figure any differently, honestly, to me if that's rhyme. And from what I remember, I think the whole figure was actually a knockoff at first. Like the lightsaber, the head, the cape, everything was knockoff from this figure. And I just repainted the entire thing. And fun fact, on the back of this torso is actually the knockoff Count Dooku torso. And then on the other side, I just painted on my own version and sculpted these little sections in the corner, or both corners. And that's pretty great. So I used the knockoff torso as a base for this one. And then the alternative facial expression is pretty funny if I can get the hair off. And you can just see, look at those eyes. Wow. So you can definitely tell it's a knockoff. But I couldn't really buy the official one because, I think it's quite expensive in my opinion. But that's not really relevant. What is relevant is how this figure turned out. And I think it's pretty good. And of course the bent lightsaber, because I don't remember the backstory of how this lightsaber got bent. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't a good backstory. Whatever. Let's just move on. And now here is Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith. And yes, the hairpiece is not what you think it would be, because I actually lost the one that was in the updated showcase. Did I do an updated showcase on this? I don't remember. But yeah. So this hairpiece is currently, it's temporary, and so I can find the other one that I was planning on using. But yeah, everything's basically the same besides this hairpiece. All the same details that were in the previous video with him in it, in this exact outfit, which I think was actually the first time I made Anakin in that Clone Wars video with those 4 characters. So that's cool. And what else is cool is Hayden Christensen face right there, which I think is a pretty good likeness, if you ask me. And I don't even want to talk about the other side of the head right now, because, yeah. Anyways, underneath this cloak thing, you can see all the other loads of 3D elements I added back when I did this showcase. And I think it all still holds up, like I said, for every minifigure in this video. And that's great. So yeah, and here's the back, by the way. Not that exciting. And now, here is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this guy is quite under-detailed, if you ask me. Like the straps, the outline on the straps look very thick. I really could have just made them a little bit thinner. And yeah, it's just not that good. I thought those straps could have been better. But yeah, and then the Legolas head was used as well, with a painted beard. It's like a mix of a grey and brown that was used there. And then the hairpiece was a Mutt Williams hairpiece with a resculpted fringe. And I think that looks pretty good till this day. And of course the boots are on the legs as well. Not that easy to see because of the extra layers on the belt. And I don't actually have a spare lightsaber blade, just like Anakin, with the blue lightsaber blade to come out of this one. But I did paint up my own design on this lightsaber as well, along with the wrists, they were painted. And another good character that I made as well, which isn't related to Revenge of the Sith, is Ahsoka Tano. And yeah, again, another decent attempt. Unfortunately, this side of the head tails broke off, whereas this one still made it onto the head. So if you see this grey piece on the actual head tails piece, that's meant to be mirrored on the other side, but it broke off. So that's a shame. But what isn't a shame is how the face looks pretty close, in my opinion, to the likeness in the actual show to Ashley Eckstein portraying the character. So that's great. And the back has nothing that interesting but she does have 2 lightsaber blades as well. And I'm running out of these blue lightsaber lightsaber blades themselves. So that's a thing. Anyways, next up is R2-D2, and this is the version I made from Revenge of the Sith. And I actually have a second version of this, but I don't know where it is. It's probably somewhere in storage. You can see this one has such thick black lines that don't really look that good. But I really did attempt to make this figure look as good as possible. But you can still tell it's R2-D2, and there's not really anything on the back. Yeah, don't want to look at that. Anyway, moving on. So here is Padme from Revenge of the Sith, and yeah, she's quite under-detailed as well. That's like a recurring theme for all these figures. Some of them just really are under-detailed, but this one, I could have added a lot more detail, if you ask me. So TIE Fighter head from one of those Microfighter sets, and you can tell it's one of the Microfighter sets when I show you this head, so you see that. And I used one of these hair pieces. I don't know where it came from, but there's that. I actually painted the skin tone onto this arm, whereas this one has the regular plastic skin tone. There's a hair on her as well. And yeah, legs, of course. They look pretty simplistic. There's not much to say about this figure, really. She has skin tone on the back. And this is literally how it looks now. Here is Luke Skywalker. And definitely my best Luke Skywalker variant thus far, because this pocket here turned out pretty good. And there's one on the back as well, right here. And then the Luke Skywalker hairpiece, of course, along with the face. So, actually this head was from the Lego Friends, like from the Friends TV show. I just took that one from the set with this head from the Friends TV show and used that. Because, yeah. And then there's the back of the head, of course. And unfortunately, this one doesn't have a lightsaber to go with him, so that sucks. But yeah, he is quite under-detailed, but I still like how he looks. And you can tell it's Luke Skywalker, because you just can. And next up, here is Chewbacca, or Chewbacca. I'm not really good for pronouncing names, but, you know, we all say it differently, I guess. You can basically tell everything that I've done here. And excuse my stuttering voice, I just can't speak today. But yeah, it's basically just all fully painted. Or actually it was repainted on the front. The fur was repainted. And this like satchel thing on the torso was repainted. And I think it looks pretty good. The legs were almost fully painted because, you know, there's printing on the legs at first. But then the toe area has paint details that don't wrap around. And then he has painted arms slightly. Other than that, standard bow. And that's really it for Chewbacca. I know what you guys are going to say. Han Solo for A New Hope that I just made earlier in May. This figure looks like garbage. Well, you're right. The face looks nothing like Harrison Ford. But I'm not good at painting likenesses. I even got this, you know, push pin thing to help paint eyes properly, but I didn't have that back when making this minifigure, so this was using everything I had left. And there's the back. I know it's not that exciting, but you know, at least it's Han Solo. And I do admit that this figure looks like garbage, in my opinion as well. And a lot of you, I bet you guys all think the same thing. If you made it to this point, just give your thoughts on Han Solo if you want. And also, this hairpiece does not work. But I didn't really have a hairpiece that did work for this version of him. Which is why for Empire Strikes Back next year, on May 4th, if Han Solo's in that film, because I haven't yet watched it properly, I'm going to try and make a better version of this, because it looks like crap. Yeah. Anyway, let's get this disgusting figure, I guess, out of the way. I apologise for how long this video is going on for, but I have made a load of figures from this show and these movies. But yeah, here's Captain Rex. I've realised how many times I'm saying "but yeah" in each segment, but I've shown this figure quite recently in a Various Minifig video with the updated Clone Army Customs helmet. I believe it's where it's from. And these pistols as well that you've seen already. So yeah, I think he did turn out pretty good. I can't get any closer to his actual on-screen appearance than this. So that's basically it for Captain Rex. I mostly talked about him already in my recent video. I've unfortunately lost that orange visor that goes around Commander Cody's head, but you know, this is the remainder of the figures that I have left, or the figure that I have left. And he also is missing this big thing that sticks out the shoulder. Both those things have been scrapped now. I don't know where they are. So, yeah. Other than that, this guy is just really detailed, and I still appreciate how he turned out. And the head underneath, in case you're wondering, yeah, Outrider head. Not that exciting. Yeah. So, nothing that exciting on the back either. It's literally just all this. This is just a minifigure, how it's been left now. And hopefully I'll have time to remake the visor and the little part that sticks out the shoulder. There's also some hand detail. Here's version 1 of the Mandalorian, and this one I'm not really a fan of how the details look, because it's quite inaccurate in my opinion. But still, this is like based off the concept art from the trailer. Wait, what? Based off the trailer, I think, not really concept art. But I really think that it looks good for now. You can tell who it is. And I also repurposed this helmet again for this variant, which I'll show in a second. But yeah, you can just see all the details that I added on there. This is like a year-old figure, honestly. And now here's the best car armor from the show as well. Unfortunately, it's missing the shoulder pad because that fell off. It was actually quite recent as well. So there's that. And I think I've already showcased this guy, so I don't really go into too much detail about it. But yeah, it's just version 2 of Mando. This is the first one that I made of him. And I made this one like a couple of weeks after. No, I'm not really sure if it was a couple of weeks after actually. It is mostly accurate, I think. I'm still happy how it looks. And there he is, little baby Yoda. My first time making this guy in Lego. My first ever Yoda I've made in Lego. In his little pod. And these are both custom pieces from this seller on eBay. I don't remember the name of the seller, but you can find this on eBay somewhere if you search up Lego Baby Yoda. And I'm real quick take him out of the pod so you can see what it looks like on the inside. So here it is, just 4 studs and an arm from him that fell off. And I can't really attach it again, but leaving that out, there it is, the orange portion that's painted in there. And I like how that looks. And don't forget Baby Yoda himself. There he is. And just for scale purpose, here he is next to Mando. And yeah, that's the scale. And once again, his arm fell out, so that sucks. I might end up reattaching it at some point after this segment. But yeah, pretty good looking, I guess. He looks quite chubby from this side. Oh my gosh, we're at the final figure already. And this is from Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. And here is Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac in Lego. I don't really have the rest of my Star Wars Rise of Skywalker figures. I mean, I think I have Kylo Ren. I'm currently looking for Kylo Ren, by the way. Is he in here? Let's see. No, he's not in there. So Poe Dameron's the only one that survived the Rise of Skywalker showcase. And he looks okay. It's basically the official minifigure as a base. I took their head, took their hairpiece, and took their blaster, adding this Technic piece painted in brown, and took their legs. Basically the only thing custom here is the torso, which I think does look pretty good. Other than that, that is basically it. And Poe has just wrapped up this complete collection so far. I say so far because I have more to add to it, but yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap this up finally, jeez. So that is it for this collection video. I still have more customs from Star Wars that I'm going to make eventually. I've already planned an ARC Trooper Jesse minifigure, along with a 332nd Clone Trooper. So hopefully I can get around to making those too. And I'll have the Duo Showcase out at some point. But if it doesn't happen this year, then it will most certainly be next year, hopefully. It depends what happens, maybe copper again, who knows. But if you guys made it round to this, like, I have no idea how long this video turned out, like how long this video is. If you guys made it round to the end here, then make sure you hit the like button and comment your thoughts on each of these, or just one of these, or any, you do what you want, I guess. And I guess I'll catch you guys in the next video, because I'm already unsure. Actually, I'm already unsure what my next video will be. I'll have to find out, but in the meantime, subscribe, show your support for these figures. I'd appreciate it a lot. I'm not even kidding, because I spend loads of time working on these. And there are some questionable, under-detailed and boring looking figures in this group, but that's just how I was a year or two ago when making these figures. Not that experienced, but either way, see you guys next time. Peace.